Our bodies innately know how to draw in nourishment and metabolize and heal and transform and do it again. Our body is our first brain.
Women act on their gender roles, not their individual characteristics. There are so many things that we do that are not natural to us, but are agreed upon as society in a whole that that's women's work, that's a woman's job, that's a woman's role. The media is going to tell you something, or your friends or your girls group is going to say, we should do this to unwind and care for ourselves, and your body will be saying, hell no. Welcome to God, I Love You, a podcast for the woman who left the rules but kept the reverence.
We're Devany and Meredith, soul friends walking the messy, mystical, unapologetically feminine path.
We are done tidying our souls for anyone.
We start where it hurts and stay for the healing. We're so glad you're here.
Last episode, we talked about dryness and how do we become dry, and ultimately got to the point that it's a function of disconnection, like taking on tasks that don't align and doing things in a way that someone else would do them. And today we're talking about what is water and understanding more deeply the concept of how the soul is self-watering.
The soul is self-watering.
It's an obtuse concept, but we hope to provide some specifics today of how we can do this. So, Dev, what is water?
What is water? When I talk about, I appreciate this metaphor of water because when I think about the ways that I'm going to nourish myself, and particularly as a woman that lives in a world that's incredibly busy, we are all so busy with so many demands that are placed on us, outside of us. You and I, Mare, have talked about how it's almost like we've been conditioned to give our water, our life force to people outside of us, like to our kids, our partners, school, work, the community, like just the emotional labor even of how much we are asked to give our life force of our water away. And what does it mean to then take a look and figure out what's water for me? Like, can I nourish my own self and let that be what becomes the outflow of how I nourish in the world? From an embodied standpoint, for me, it's things in my life that I nourish myself with that give me a sense of like filling up my energetic tank and that energize me to then give my water back out into the world. So water is this life force.
Yeah. One thing we've kind of stood at awe in is that water is a very simple compound, hydrogen and oxygen. And these things are so readily available to us on this planet, and yet we cannot replicate them in a lab. And it seems like we should be able to, right? They seem straightforward. We have droughts everywhere. We have water issues everywhere. And that's the miraculous thing about water. We use water sort of as a metaphor, but we're also considering what if water is more than a metaphor? If it's something that we can't replicate, that is fundamental for life on existence in this planet, there's something here. So hold that thought, but also if we're taking it metaphorically, we're thinking about all the kinds of water there are. There's artesian water, there's volcanic water, there's rainwater, there's a deluge of water, there's mist of water, there's water that turns to gas, water that turns to ice, water in all of its forms, even though it's made of the same basic components. It just has certain things sprinkled in or around it. And in that way, water is both universal and particular. And what we talk about today is that the way that we find what our own individual water is incredibly particular, and that it will start to feed us and feed the whole.
And when we've spent time with this, that what we find that nourishes our particular vessel, that nourishes the one and only Devany and the one and only Meredith, who at the same time are collectively a part of the human family, a part of the circle of life, part of life itself, is desire. And listening to the depth, like that deep place within that is desire, guides us towards life. And when we receive what we desire, we are nourished, we are energized. And we've really spent time considering how, particularly as women, we look around and we have this kind of been carrying the weight of what are the needs around me? What are the desires of my kids, of my partner? What are the needs of my community, of the school my kids go to, of my neighbors? And pouring this nourishment out of ourselves into these outer things like people, places, causes, and how good that is. But we're really good at giving out our life force, of giving away our nourishment on behalf of the greater good. But that leaves us dried up, dried out, burnt out, like all these metaphors of dry, crunchy. Like you think of soil that doesn't get watered, it goes crunchy, hard, desert vibe. So we really want to dive into, particularly as women, because we're in women bodies here, you and I, Mare. Like there's a lot to that. It brings up shame in me that like when I do hit a wall of burnout, I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I should be able to keep going. Versus like, what's the compassion of like, oh wait, my body is asking for nourishment. My soul is asking for nourishment. I can give it away, but can I give it to myself? And that's a hard thing to know. A, what do I need?
It was so
B,
hard.
what do I want? Woof.
Woof. It's a question that gets asked a lot, but there's a reason it gets asked a lot, because it's not really answered. But it's not answered individually or as a group. You're saying like this happens a lot to us as women. And it's reminding me of this quote in a book our coach has directed us to read, which is Emotional Labor by Rose Hackman. And this is this isn't correctly quoted, but she says something like, women act on their gender roles, not their individual characteristics.
Mm.
Which is to say that there are so many things that we do that are not natural to us, but are agreed upon as society in a whole, that that's women's work, that's a woman's job, that's a woman's role. And many of us do not have the natural, even ability sometime, much less a skill set to do all of these things. And so then we do feel like failures. And then things like shame starts to come in. Why is this not come natural? This is feminine. This is within my wheelhouse, etc. And maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not.
And could it be that in those moments where we feel disconnected from self, we really talked about how dry is disconnected. Could it be true that listening to our desires are a honing device, a compass guiding us towards life? And can we trust that?
Yeah. This is one thing that you're really good at, because you have an ear for the body. And while most of us are in our heads, you are listening first to what goes on in the body.
I mean, I do say that my body is my first brain. Ever since I was little, my body's just been the place I have made sense of the world first. And I think that leads to, we were thinking about what are two stories from our lives? Like, let's take it into the personal, because I always learn from story. I think the human soul is drawn to story. And you and I are talking about like, what are two stories of when you were passive? Like for me, when was the time that I was passive to listening to my body's needs? Because there was a time, even though it is my first brain, there's a lot of conditioning in this world to push through and perform and produce. And so I became passive to my body's needs. And when was the moment when I started to wake up and realize like, oh, I need nourishment. And I don't know how to do that. But in fact, I did, right? Because our bodies know. Our bodies innately know how to draw in nourishment and metabolize and heal and transform and do it again and do it again.
Can I just interrupt you quickly and say how relieving it is to hear a body person say they don't understand or didn't understand how to nurse their body? Because it seems like, oh, as some people just know, and they're like higher
Right.
elevated souls and bodies, and really, we all get to struggle through this one.
Totally, because of the context of the world that we live in, which we'll get into in a future episode. Um, but I'm glad because I think a large part around our bodies is de-shaming. And my story goes at a time because I'm high energy, I'm high capacity, I can do a lot, I move, I burn fast and hot. There was a season where it was a season of grief and one of my dearest friends who was facing tragedy. It was a season of uprooting my kids and putting them in a new school. I was disoriented. I had to kind of ask myself, like, which Devany, like, what identity am I going to
Mm.
inhabit in this new place? And I was so stretched outside of my capacity and comfort zone that I couldn't show up as the overdoer and the overgiver and I lead as an Enneagram 8. Like, you have a problem, I'm your fixer. I couldn't show up in that way. And it really devastated me. And it was when a friend said, "Hey, I'm doing this somatic coaching." And I was like, my body, like, this is how we know. It just kind of perked up. I was like,
Mm.
somatic coaching. And my friend was like, yeah, it's like understanding how your body speaks to you and then listening and responding. And I'm like, I need that. And I was so dried out that the idea of someone translating my embodied experience to myself felt like water.
Mm.
So I started about a couple years ago.
That's so interesting. I love how you said that it translated your body to yourself, because that infers that there's kind of like a universal guidebook to all this. That while we are individualistic, the way that your body responds is not random, and there
Mm,
is an explanation. And sometimes it's simply a matter of learning, well, if I'm feeling a sensation here, that's connected to these types of issues. It's body mapping. It's,
mm.
we're all fundamentally the same, of course, wild variations, but there is a way to figure this out.
Our bodies tell us, like, these sensations are telling us things, and our body is our first brain.
Yeah, it's everyone's first brain, damn it.
It's everyone's first brain, but there's so many
Brain.
reasons we've been disconnected. That is another conversation, and it's
That's a
not your
different
fault.
that's a whole different type of podcast. Yeah, well,
Yes.
maybe this one, who knows?
Who knows? And I think for me, it started basic. Like, my coach, who will link to her in the show notes. She's an incredible teacher. And it started with understanding sensations in my body, like states of being activated, states of being like, I can't get off this couch. I feel depressed. I feel sluggish. Like, moving, like accompanying me and like listening to the different states I was experiencing and saying, like, how can you tend? First, let's begin to tend your body. What do you like? And then once we start to tend the nervous system, can you begin to move with the sensations and the information that your body's giving to you? And why this relates to nourishment is because to the body, when we listen to our bodies, it feels like love. There's this quote, and I'll have to look up who says it, but to the body, listening is indistinguishable from love.
Okay, pause for a minute there. That is a wild feeling, and wild is not the right word, because the feeling isn't wild. When you say that, I can feel love, feeling like the blanket, like yep,
Mm.
here you are. We're all safe, we're tucked in, and I can feel it expanding.
Yes.
And with a boundary, while love is boundless, it does feel so good to be kept inside of a body so that you can really get the texture and the density of it.
Yeah.
Nourishing feels dense in a good
Mm.
way. It feels substantial.
It does. It feels like, the body's primary needs, like What am I feeding my body? And not in like a, oh my God, women should eat this so they look that way. Like we're not bullying the body here. We're saying
Mm.
nourishing with like dense, like food that enriches, water, sleep, sunshine, and like pausing to listen. It started as basics. It's like, what are your favorite things? And I thought, this really, it's that basic. But not knowing Meredith, I knew what my favorites were, but I had to like spend days that turned into weeks, that turned into a year of observing my body receiving something and asking, is that nourishment? And in
It's
different
really
seasons.
right. It's so easy to be asleep to our favorites list.
Totally.
And it's the thing that will save us. It will bring us back
Absolutely.
to life.
So that season started slow, like go get in the sun. It was a summer. I felt so dried out, so burnt out. I felt completely, I just wanted to cry at any moment. And it started as simple as like watering my flowers and like watching water. Ooh, that gets me.
Mm.
And
Mm.
watching my flowers slowly take form and come alive. Every day I watered my garden. I sat in the sun. I was drawn to the hammock. Like I found myself needing to lay in a hammock a lot and just be suspended in time. I found bodies of water were really healing. I walked to the same pond once a week when I had childcare with my same favorite iced half calf Americano with a splash of soy. But it was like actually listening to my favorites and nourishing my body. Like, I hear that you're tired. Let's lay flat. I hear that you have a lot of angst. Let's dance. I
Mm.
started dancing a ton in that season. I put on
I
loud
remember that.
music
Yeah.
and I danced in my basement. Remember that?
Yeah. God, that
I
feels
don't,
so good.
yeah. And I haven't danced down here in a while, but that season, it just like the rage and the frustration just like needed to move, right?
Mm.
It's like getting in touch with that animal body. Like I love Mary Oliver, like that quote, wild, like the poem Wild Geese that we
Wild
all
geese.
love and know. But let the soft
Mm.
animal of your body love what it loves.
Mm.
That's the medicine. That's the water. That's
I
the
can feel
life.
my neck starting to just relax
Hmm.
when you say that. I tend to go in I tend to go the indulgent route
Mm.
where I don't have nearly as much as energy as you have. So whenever bursts of energy do come out, they often take me out.
Oof.
And
Say
a
that
lot
again. Bursts of energy come out. They take me
they take
out.
me out. When bursts of energy come out, they take me out. And I'm there. I'm so present. It's so fun. We had a bunch of people nonstop in our home for Christmas break. There were 2 days, maybe 3, I don't remember, not many, when people were not there. And that's not my MO. I require a ton of alone, down personal time. But I was handling it and it felt great and it was so fun and everyone that was there, I loved and I knew it was a moment in time that just it
Mm.
doesn't happen. It happens once a year, maybe, but not even. And I was all in, and then most of January was totally laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself towards the end of January like rotting. And I love how the young people are just talking about
They're so
rotting
wise.
on
They
the
really
couch.
are.
They're so wise. Like, what a descriptor. Like laying on the couch all weekend and watching Netflix and eating all the heavy, dense comfort foods
Mm.
and just letting your body totally surrender. Well, I took that, for most of a month. I didn't do it just the weekend. And at some point, started to realize I was going into indulgence. Like it took so long, which is now a hint for me. If we're lingering in our recovery, it could be the appropriate amount of time. It depends what was going on. But for just having a bunch of people in your house, a month is not an appropriate amount of time for this body to
Mm.
recover.
Mm.
And that nag started to come at me. And it wasn't the nag from my head, it was the nag from my heart, from my sacral area, from my solar plexus of you're leaving something on the table here. You're leaving something on the table.
Say more about leaving something on the table.
You know, I'm getting the sense lately, and this is all around, that we feel that we need to make something of ourselves.
Mm.
And really, we just need to make. We just need to create.
Yep.
And it doesn't, like, what I create might not reach many people, but that's okay. It feels so damn good doing it. And that is water. That's life-giving. And there comes a point in rotting when you realize, oh, like, no, the root system is now rotting out, so that what you try to make, you will no longer have structure for. This thing that I often do of having too much water or of overwatering self, which...
Ooh, pause. Overwatering self. I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Describe that. I feel that in my body. Give us the example.
So overwatering self for me feels like it's actually like a shutdown. It starts as I'm nourishing. I'm just taking time. I'm just taking time away. I'm resting. And that looks like me getting in bed and watching Netflix or binging just shows and shows and shows and shows and calling it rest. It's eating shit. It's eating crap. It's stuff that's like the extreme. It's taking things to the extreme. Sometimes you need the whole system to rot out.
Yeah.
That happens. Sometimes you don't. This was an instance of I don't need to destroy everything.
It's almost like it needed... I'm only interrupting because one of the things we talked about that feels really important here is particularly someone like you who is an empath. I am recently discovering I'm an empath. You are like an energetic empath. Like you love people. We've actually learned about you, Meredith, that you are indeed extroverted, but all those years you were taking in all of the emotional, energetic input of your surroundings and didn't know how to like create your own pot for your plant. And so it would just put you into full on rot. But it was a lot of emotion that you were taking in, a lot of different energies at different frequencies, because every human carries a different energy and moves in and out of different energies. And what I hear you saying in this place of rot was you actually needed space for all of those energies and emotions that you had been drinking in with intention. Like I remember during that season, you're like, I'm having people in the house and I'm feeling like I'm keeping up with it and I'm here. You know, we'll talk more about next time, like you're a projector, Meredith, so you can kind of like hold lots of energies and lots of things. And then after, suddenly it all started to like metabolize inside of your body. That's what January was.
That's what January was. And I'm glad that it did. It's inevitable. It always will.
Mm-hmm.
But this December, the plan is to take these daily breaks and check-ins, ask myself questions, to start hosting myself, to truly host myself.
Stop. I have never thought about doing that. That is utterly genius, to include yourself in the people that you host.
Oh, I like how you just expanded that. That just came. This is the channel. This is not me.
Yes.
But yeah.
I'm going to host myself.
I'm going to host myself.
I'm going to nourish myself. I'm going to include myself in the collective of what is life, of what are these people, of what is this existence. I'm going to include myself.
I'm going to include myself. And this goes to your list of favorites. I mean,
totally.
Won't this be critical to have your list of favorites as you go into a holiday season, as you go into a new job, as you go into a new school year, whatever it is that you're doing? It's pretty damn critical to have yourself figured at least 2% out so that you can be nourishing yourself when things get a little hard, because the hard times have a way of just popping right up out of nowhere sometimes.
And Meredith, How you host others. I have been in your house. You are the all-time host, like in a way of I literally will come to your house and be like, yeah, you and your kids can go do all the sports. I'll just be in your basement for a day by myself. Everything's fine. And then I show up and it's like, it's all of the beauty and the pleasure. Like you have a honing device for pleasure. Like there'll be the most beautiful cups out, coffee that tastes really good. The comforter on the bed is really fucking soft and it's not too squishy and it's not too hard. It's like Goldilocks. And you have, dairy-free, the best dairy-free yogurt I've ever had in my whole life. I
Oh my
experienced last
God.
time I came to your house, Coco
Yeah.
June,
Coco June.
not sponsored, but perhaps. But I think,
Thanks,
Merritt,
thanks
like,
for inventing that, Coco June. Woof.
oh my God, like,
Yeah. Sorry. Go
but
on. I could talk for hours about Coco June.
I know. But the way that you host the people that you love, what I hear what you're saying is part of your water, your nourishment is to host yourself with pleasure. Like,
Ugh.
and if you were to do that in small ways, would you need to swing into utter absolute indulgence?
Right. Oh my God. See, this is the mirroring that I'm talking about. Thank you.
Mm.
One way I've been thinking about doing, not thinking, but like one way that just works is like, talking about the time, like if you're finding yourself at a month, you've overdone it. If the nag has to come out, you've overdone it. And one shortcut I'm finding recently is to engage myself in high art.
Mm.
So let's just say I'm watching movies. I can choose to keep things at the level that they are by watching a cute rom-com. It'll make me laugh. It'll tug some heartstrings. It's not going to move my needle. Or I could watch a major drama. I could watch a tragic love story. I could watch just a phenomenally directed and produced film. I could watch the hours. And the level of energy that provides is going to make me cry. It's going to make me laugh. It's going to make me feel deeply. It's going to find these pockets of, of emotions that have not been felt all the way through from myself that now aid me. Someone else's story will aid me and push it all out in a matter of 2 hours.
Mm.
So now I can maybe spend a week versus a month or 2 days or 2 hours versus all of this stuff by using story, high art. It could, your thing might be paintings. It might be music,
Yeah. It could be
go find
getting
your
out in
folly.
nature. I've told you I
Getting out
have
in
the
nature.
same getting out in nature, poetry for me. But I hear us saying that it transmutes the energy. And I think you've brought in the emotional center, the heart space
Yeah.
that is must be. I mean, if we're talking about desire, like the heart is the spiritual organ that pulses for love and beauty and also pulses for heartbreak and tragedy, like that feels like we're a human that gets to feel. And nourishment is feeling it all the way through. We've talked a lot about that. Can we feel it all the way through? And there's times where we start to feel and it pushes you to an edge where for me, like I might just completely overdo it, burn out, and have to disengage and or sink down, down, down into a depression that I can't engage with the world. And something about beauty and art, and like also, Lena, ask for help. We're huge proponents of
Oh my
coaching,
God. Yeah. Yeah.
therapy, astrology readings, like medicine, like aid your body with nourishment, all types of nourishment.
Get some perspectives beside your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so often we think that we have to resource all of this from the inside. And while that might be possible to an extent, the fact is that we are connected creatures. And so, right, coaches, therapists, friends, nature, it all serves us. The resourcing is everywhere. It's not as individualistic as we think it is.
Mm. And knowing the particularity of the resourcing that lights you up
Yeah.
or that comforts like a heavy blanket or that
Yeah.
soothes, right?
Right, because my astrology might be your dancing.
Yes.
And to say, Dev, go get an astrological reading, you might feel like, oh, that feels so technical right now. I just need I just need to move. I just need to
Mhm.
move. Yeah.
Mhm. And I need to move to really good music, or I've started singing, like, make whatever comes, like, like,
Uh,
I am set that's for me. And if I can't find my song, I put on a song that I love. But again, that collective reminder that we are interwoven. We are not only resourced as the individual, we are part of a web of resourcing. But I think there is this piece of saying yes to nourishing myself, yes to hosting myself, yes to love coming in as much as love goes out.
mm, so true. And it's almost inevitable because once we do start watering ourselves, a lot of water multiplies and there's nowhere for it to go except out.
Mm. It's generative,
It's generative.
except, to make it in a lab, which you can't. However, it's like that
Right.
spring, like love has this texture of like, um, I think it's Cynthia Bourgeois who says like the inner wellspring of
Mm,
your deepest being is where the inflow and the outflow of the divine is always flowing. The water is always flowing and it's saying yes to love for myself. And so this is like that distinction between self-care. We see so much about self-care in the media and on social media. And like, I will say, if you rub my feet, like I literally will cry. Like it's my access to my emotions or my feet. Had to figure that one out. But you go like get a facial and get my nails painted, like that's really nice. But like I don't actually, but for some folks, like polishy fingers, I can hear all the privilege in this. I'm very aware.
well,
But like the self-care, it's the distinction of like, is this loving me in a way that I feel nourished versus like when I get really burnt out, confession, I will eat a whole bag of potato chips. And in the moment, I'm like, and now I know like crunching is a dopamine release, right? Like my body's actually
mm,
being really smart on my behalf. But then I get that like, now I feel sluggish and I don't feel more nourished. I actually feel less. I feel less. I'm more disconnected. Ooh, maybe there it is. Like, am I more disconnected after
mm,
this or am I more nourished and connected?
totally. To make you feel less bad about your nail polish privilege comment, I had intended to go get my nails done today as an act of physical body self-care, but decided I was like, "Do I something was pinging me like I don't think that's the thing. I don't think that's the thing." And I realized, God, I don't think I like pedicures. I don't like someone poking and prodding in my feet. I don't like the ticklish part. It's a constant like
Bracing.
sneezing, bracing. And that's exactly what we're saying is the media is going to tell you something, or your friends or your girls group is going to say, we should do this to unwind and care for ourselves. And your body will be saying, hell no, hell no. Maybe it's sufficient just to go with them and be there and
Mm.
get the joy of being with someone. But your body knows. Maybe we should talk about front loading then. As a
Mhm.
thematic coach, Stephanie's got this incredibly practical tip that I had never come across
Yes.
before
That I
of
learned from
front
my
loading.
teacher. Yep, Marisa Guadalupe, my teacher, I learned this from. Um, that the nervous system, you can front load it. So if you know there's going to be something that is taxing on your nervous system, you can front load every day a little bit. You can front load, like you can give yourself a lot in a day that you're going to have a big output. But think about us as bowls, and we can put chips into the bowl, like red little poker chips. And when we go to an event, or we have like a stressful interaction with a family member, like 3 chips get taken out of the bowl. And then like all the things we can't account for in our day that are taxing, just keep taking chips. Chips come out. And pretty soon the bowl can be empty. And then when our system is taxed by an external event, there's nothing else to pull from. So then we start
Mm.
depleting. It's like goes into the negatives. Well, the good news about this is that every day, if you can have a ritual of loading your nervous system with what is life-giving to you, for me, it's like as simple as favorites, like favorite tea, favorite coffee. I take this little short loop with my dog after I drop the kids off. I have sunshine. I have nature. I have grass underneath my toes before I go in the house. I try to meditate, some quiet, exercise, move my body. And you don't have to like have a rigid routine. Like my body's already getting sweaty, but it's like actually looking at it like, what are things I like? And all of those are poker chips that you're putting into your bowl so that when taxing things happen, there's something to draw from and you can kind of still hold equilibrium. We're all dying to know, what did you do instead?
Well, I went to Target because I didn't do anything self-care. We're trying to leave for a trip. So
excuse me,
well,
that is
you know what?
self-care.
It is self-care. It's self and familial care because I thought, am I going to feel great that I just spent an hour and a half doing something, number one, that is uncomfortable, but number two, really only serves me in a way that like flashy nails don't do it for me. They don't light me up. What would feel good is to be able to do all of this stuff, to wake up in the morning and just be able to walk on a flight and host my body being calm in a travel situation. And I felt great and time expanded, got it all done. Well, no, I have a long list still, but I got a lot of it done. And that feels good. That feels really good.
Okay, this is the last thing because I know this is getting long, but I have to say, like knowing what will trigger your nervous system into a state of panic or overwhelm or needing to fight, like a travel day, the kindness of preloading, of pre-preparing, of saying, I'm going to host my body to be able to access calm. So the things I know that will help me feel calm, I'm going to do before the travel day hits. That is so kind to yourself.
It's so kind. You know, I'm glad you said this because you talk about this and every time you do, it's like a new light bulb goes off that we're front loading people, that we have to be resourced in order to move through life in the way that we want to move through life. And I don't mean like efficiently. I just mean with kindness and without having our own adult temper tantrums.
Yes.
You know, I don't know why I'm talking about this. This is yours. You have all the right words.
This is that effect. That is this mirroring that we love to do for each other where I'm like, yeah, like I've said it in the same way so many times, but hearing you say like, what if it were to, I mean, we're both moms. I think a lot of our listeners will connect. Like, what if I were to mother myself? And you know what a mom does? A mom does front load. Like, God, why have we never thought of this? Like, if my kids are going to have a field trip at school, I'm going to make sure they have extra protein at lunch. The night before, they're going to get an extra hour of sleep. We're going to talk through the routine. We're going to, what clothes would you want to wear? Like, especially my youngest is very high sensory with some things. Like, I'm front loading for her. We don't, why are we not doing this for ourselves? Like, what the hell?
Why aren't we drinking enough water? Why are we eating really good food? Why aren't we sleeping enough or taking naps when we need them? Right. That's like the part of humanity that we don't grow out of. We can expand our window of tolerance, but we will always need to be fed, rested, and watered. Always.
Amen. Always. And connected. I think that's where this podcast has been a pipeline dream. Like, I think this seed was planted long ago, but this is nourishing to me to be able to talk through how to human together and to feel seen, humaning, and to let the human thing be an adventure and not that something's wrong with us or that we're broken or that we need to fix, but that we get to be in it and connected in it is a huge gift.
And I just like hearing you talk. So I'm glad for that.
Ditto. I like to hear you talk.
I like to hear you talk.
If you're here listening, we're glad because we're talking a lot.
Oh, because we just love each other. Okay.
Yep. And you get to, there's enough room in our love. Come join our love. We have a heart for women loving women. Come on in.
Yeah. Have we said it all? Is there anything else we are feeling?
How would you wrap us up?
Yeah, here's how. We're connecting that water is desire. This episode. And with that often comes a mistrust of desire. And we'll talk about that later. But just to sort of prime what's coming next and also to wrap up here today, we can always trust that what you want wants you. And this is a spiritual concept from nearly every tradition. And you can just lay the questioning, the shame, the feelings of selfishness, the feelings of am I asking for too much? When you sense a desire, you could just lay it down. It's not important. It's no longer relevant. If you want it, you've been created to want it. It's in you. Because what you want is not really what I want.
Yeah.
And that's great. We need to have a variety, a variation in our desires because that's how things move forward. So what you want wants you. You came in preloaded to want what you currently want. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry
And
about
what's
it.
pulling you, I see a thread of that desire, of that want is love, like pulling you forward into co-creating with love, into co-creating life, into interconnectedness, into like that aliveness. It's like a big dance. Like it's this weaving. I always see people like we're all dancing in our own way, and it's this big, beautiful cosmic dance of getting to be alive. And I know that gets a little esoteric, but it's like trusting yourself in this big dance, and that it's good when we think about feeling that. I don't know.
It's so good. So
And some
take
days
this
are
away. Oh,
shitty. It's not always good. There's moments we get to remember, tap into the goodness of love and desire.
right, right. Those words can be used in so many different ways. And we know that we're using those in the most pure ways. So yeah, tap into them. So we'll also leave you with this, just the practical tips. Make your favorites list. Watch yourself, observe yourself. Is this my favorite? Do I love this? Can this help me? Dev, I know you keep a running list on your phone about all your favorites because whenever you're stressed, it's really difficult to remember sometimes what your
Yes.
favorite is.
Yes.
Again, like Dev, start simple. Oh, I need some sun. I need some pop chips. I need something.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other thing is to ask. Ask yourself, does this feel good right now? Am I hosting myself?
Mm.
And just wait until your brain stops talking and your heart and the mid part of your body can give you an answer. The second your brain starts asking or answering, you've gone off track. Ask the question again until the insides of your body are responding. Do I want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And that'll
And if
help
your
you.
body feels really disconnected or foggy or far away, you have taught me that you can use a pendulum where it swings and it can land on the yes or the no if you want to show.
Yeah, mine's on a dental floss right now.
I'm fancy.
Still works. Still works just fine.
You can flip a
Yeah, if
coin.
your body doesn't if you and your body are not connecting right now, that's no problem. That should not stop you from finding your yes and your no. We'll also link a video showing you how to use one of these things. It's very simple. Okay, well, we ended on a lot of things there.
We sure did. But we'd love for you to come back because next time we're going to be talking about how you said earlier that when like we've been conditioned to think that we have been made to make something of ourselves, when in fact we've really been designed to make. That the soul comes alive when we create and when we're flowing in our alignment. And like you called it the juice, And we're going to talk about finding flow, like the flow of water that wants to move through you and create something in your participation in that. So if you want to know, like just listen to how to re-energize, how to connect to your flow, come back.
Yeah, come back and see us.
Yeah.
Whoop and poop.
Yep. Let's go off the theme of our favorites list, like what the 5 senses love and what the 5 senses wants to poop at. And I did this earlier and got judged, and I'm going to stick with it. But lately, it has been Crystal Light. It's nostalgic. It makes me think of the mountains in my godmother's home with all my family and the joy of summer. I taste Crystal Light, and it's like joy in a cup. And maybe it will give me, I'm not even gonna manifest what it could give me. I know it's not real.
Don't even say the words, because spoiler alert, it was me that did the judging. So, okay, I do apologize. That was like too many opinions. Too many opinions.
The news is I don't care. I'm still going to drink Crystal Light.
Yeah, as you should, because I think if you love it that much, it can't possibly affect you.
No.
And I'm praying for you.
What's your whoop?
My whoop is what is my whoop? What was my whoop?
You love some Cocoa June.
I do love some Cocoa June.
But that's not it.
It wasn't it.
Oh my gosh. It's your probiotic silly drink that makes you look like you're drinking and driving.
I think we did that one on the last.
Darn. Okay.
The last one.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm just going to look at my favorites here. Why is it so hard to like find something that see? Oh my God, favorites.
Okay,
Mine
stop.
are all
So
like,
this is such a good thing. It's stressing you out. So instead, go with something that you've been whooping lately and don't force it. See, sometimes when we force it doesn't feel good.
Totally.
This is a good practice.
Okay.
So send that out the window. What do you like? What are you whooping today?
So glad that just happened.
Me too. Let's keep that. That's just real, man.
That is so real. Okay. I tell you what I have been whooping a lot lately, and it is it's like the editorial style, a la, Banana Republic, all that stuff that do you remember we used to all wear that as early professionals, and it all, it's all very simple. And I am so far down the Banana Republic sale train that it is alarming. So that's, yeah.
I love you.
There's this piece inside me that's like, I just want big editor glasses and, and collared sweaters till the end of my days. Yeah. So there's that.
I love that you get to embody multiple identities. Bring it. Just keep expanding.
So many.
Keep returning.
Exactly. Okay, what's your poop?
I'm going to say your poop. This is going to be fun, and I'm throwing it at you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Meredith's poop. This speaks to our shared neurodivergence, but being told what to do. I was like, you have to say what you whoop within your 5 senses. And you were like, poop face, not happening. Don't. Which is like such a good thing to know about self. I don't know. That's honest.
So true.
I'm the same way though. So
oh my God. It's like, this is for another time, but PDAing. Oh my gosh. We'll talk about that later. Have you gotten down that train for neurodivergence?
No. Okay.
Pathological demand avoidance. There's a nicer way to say it. It's called
rejection resistance.
No, it's also PDA, but it's like, it sounds more like an appreciation of one's autonomy.
That is a lot less shame-based.
It's a lot less shame-based.
We'll take that.
Yeah, I like
that is
one.
a poop for Meredith, and one that maybe I put on you and projected, but in fact is also my poop. So no one be telling me how to answer a question. That doesn't go well.
Well, I obviously needed a lot of help there because I both flighted entries. So great.
Okay, good. Do we leave it? I think that's it. I think we just let that be real.
I love you, Dev. God, I love you so much.
I love you, Mare. God, I love you. And I love you, listeners. And I love that we're having a collective conversation with you guys.
That's right. Godspeed and good vibes. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks for being with us on God, I Love You.
If something stirred or soothed you, share it with a friend or leave us a little love in the reviews.
And if not, that's okay. We're not here for gold stars.
You can find us at GILY.pod, Devany at illumin.within, and me at Hibernate Healing.
Until next time, Godspeed, good vibes, and God, we love you.